is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
When I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means
podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. If you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake Business News Network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. To be a successful investor, you need to stay current with the daily changes in the economy and the stock market. Phil Grande and philsgang.com can be your guide to becoming a better investor. Try the free 10-day trial at philsgang.com for the working investor. From the opening bell to the closing, stay informed with what's happening in real time. The Working Investor Program includes full access to the Phil's Gang website, a morning update on what to look for that day on Wall Street, a market wrap on that day's trading, plus seminars, training, and tools to help you become a better investor. Go to philsgang.com for a free 10-day trial. After that, it's just $59.95 a month for membership, daily updates, training, software, and the best investing advice every day. You can invest with the best. Phil Grande and philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
When you have over half of the Magnificent Seven, for totally unrelated reasons that aren't necessarily all bad, having a pretty tough time of it, it starts to make you wonder, is this index really going to go the direction that we're used to? And I don't think so.
She doesn't think so. No. You know, they keep telling us this big lie that they're going to keep cutting rates. They're going to cut rates. And it's just not going to happen. If you just go back to the history of it, when you go back and look what happened from January 2022 to October 2022, look what happened with the bond market. Just go look at the 20-year Treasury, TLT, use that, the symbol, TLT, if you want to take a look at it. And remember, the bond market just dropped. It tanked as interest rates went up. And people forget that, you know, it's interest is everything, interest rates. And interest rates are going to continue to go up, not down, because inflation is not over with. And because, first of all, there's too much corporate debt. And that's what they don't want you to think about either. It's interesting. You know, the clock always comes back to 12. And if you go and take a look at from January 2008 to January 2022, due to all these stock buybacks and all these zero interest rates, the corporate debt increased 40% from 2008 to 2022. Because what were they doing? They could get all this money free. Corporate debt went nuts. But there was no profits. They didn't need profits to rally their stock price. All they had to do is borrow money and just keep on buying their own shares. So there'd be less shares out there to trade. And when there's less shares, like less of anything, you're going to go buy apples, and all of a sudden there's half a basket of apples. The guy that owns the store is going to raise prices. Well, that's what they simply do in the stock market. That's what QE is about. Go in and reduce your shares, and therefore the price goes up, and you don't have to do anything. It's called unearned increment. So we are facing another crash, but nobody wants to believe it. Nobody wants to believe it. So it's that corporate debt. Now, the corporate debt is over, what, $12, $13 trillion. Corporations are in deep, deep trouble. Because all the years they're borrowing and borrowing and borrowing all this money, and their debt kept going up and up and up. They got to pay that debt back. But they haven't been growing their company. Now, remember, the S&P 500 companies, just this last year, we'll talk about 2023. Remember, the S&P gains were 24%. Nearly 75% of those gains came from 7 stocks. That's it. So corporations, hardly any earnings out there. They've just been playing this game. Hey, look, as long as I get interest rates, I'm just going to keep borrowing money. It's free. I don't care how much debt I put on the company, because they don't care about the company, the CEO, and the big shareholders. They don't care about the company. They care about their bonuses from these stock buybacks. And the big shareholders, they win. The big shareholders win, the CEOs win. But Main Street loses. The company loses. So add to that money to push the stock market up from 2008 to 2022, put in another 27 trillion they printed. And what was that money for? Well, how you get the stock market up, you got to go in these companies, you got to go in and buy the banks lend the company. So remember, 2008, the banks were insolvent. So they came in and propped the banks up. These banks were broke. They came in and propped the banks up by buying their garbage assets to inject money to keep them alive so they could do this QE plan, print money, and then go in and have the banks then give it to the companies at zero interest, and then the companies buy their own stock. But they needed to keep the banks alive. They couldn't do it. They couldn't say, okay, let's just get rid of all the banks. They're all broke now. We, the Federal Reserve, will do it. So they had to keep the banks alive. They were the feeder of the money. Remember, the Federal Reserve went in and got the money from the government printed in the Treasury, and then they took that money and the Federal Reserve went in and said to Mr. Banker, give me all your garbage. I'll put it on my balance sheet. Here's your cash now. I want you to loan that money to Joe Suckface Tech Company. And so he loans it at zero. So the CEO, his stock's at $10, and all of a sudden he can borrow money free. And he says, oh my God, I can borrow money free. My stock's at $10, and all I got to do, I got 1 million shares outstanding. I have no business. I'm losing money. All I have to do is reduce that 1 million shares down to about 800,000 shares from the million. My stock will go from $10 to $20, and I didn't have to make any profits. Wow. And this is what they did. So they did that all the way to 2022. So corporation debt went insane, went up 40%. They got to pay it back. And we had the biggest bubble ever. So the banks, the idea, we had to keep these banks solvent. So they keep lending. This is what this whole game was about. But starting in 2015, remember what happened? From 2008 to 2015, while this game is going on, printing all this money to go buy the assets of the banks, and so then the Fed could give the money to the banks, then the banks could go and loan to these companies to buy their own shares to push the stock market up. Inflation was starting to go up, going crazy, because where did the money come to go in and have the Federal Reserve buy the assets from these banks so they wouldn't go under? Printed it. It was all printed money. When you print money, that's horrific inflation. 2015 comes, now this is after 2008, 7 years go by, inflation is starting to run rampant because they were pushing a stock market up. It was a stock market bubble, the same bubble they created with the dot-com bubble, the housing bubble. Now this is going to be the QE bubble. So we go by, so by 2015, Aunt B, Yellen, gets nervous. Oh my God, look at this inflation we're creating. And that's when they started to say, oh, it's transient, don't worry about it, it's transient. It's all transient, don't worry about it. So she started to raise rates to fight the inflation. She started to print money. Which was, remember, that money printing is associated directly with QE. When they say quantitative easing, that's all it is, all this money printing. So Yellen starts to raise rates to fight inflation from 2015 to 2018. Remember, we went from 0 to 2.5%. Now remember, these corporations, they got a lot of, remember, the corporations had all this debt on their books, but they were borrowing money at 0. But now all of a sudden they weren't paying 0 interest anymore on that debt. They're paying 2.5% interest on that debt. That really started to kill their earnings. That's why this market's never had earnings. It just kept going up without earnings. When I get back, I'm going to tell you why this is going to happen all over again. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially in the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you start making money, please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. What I'm going over with you today is trying to identify for you that the crash that we had, the bond crash, if you want to call it, when the bond market dropped from, I think it was July to that October, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And remember what happened? Rates went up and the market went down. And it's going to happen again. And nobody believes it. Everybody's saying, oh, everything's going to be fine. We're on our way up. We're going to keep going up. And they've been wrong every time. Every time they said we're going to go up, we didn't. Every time they said we're going to keep going down, they were wrong. We didn't. The Federal Reserve is never right about a damn thing. And the inflation that we're fighting right now is incredible. And that's why there is no way that this market is going to continue to go up. They can lie to you all they want to how great the economy is, how great things are. They're even telling you to buy the tech stocks on the dip. Are you kidding me? Listen to this. I think I got the right one.
It's a good time for investors who particularly are looking at the Mag 7 to consider buying on these dips.
Buying on the dip. These stocks have all relative weakness. The money's rotating out of those stocks left and right. Those stocks are so overpriced, overvalued, you get nosebleeds keeping those stocks. What do they think? Just magic will keep these stocks up? The valuations are insane. Smart money's not going to pay the valuations for these stocks. So, again, when we take a look at anyone saying to you, this market's going to continue, we're not going to crash, we got all the evidence right in front of us. Just look at the bond market. The bond market always tells you if the market's going to crash or not crash. So again, if we go back to when this market crashed from January 2022, and we went all the way down to that October 2022, and remember what I said, Yellen, she really started to get nervous. She started in 2015. Remember, she's the one that said, "I got to start raising rates because of all this inflation, because of all this QE, this fake rally, this bubble we're creating. I got to do something." So she started to raise those rates to fight inflation from 2015, 2018. In 2018, what did they do? They cut rates again. Are they out of their minds? In the middle of inflation, they cut rates again. And then in 2019, they dropped rates from 2.5% down to 0. And then kept them to 0 until on January 7th, January 2022, the bond market collapsed. All of a sudden, the yields start going up, interest rates going up, and boom, the bond market goes down. It dropped. Are you kidding me? So the bond market is right now, is since December. Remember, we had that rally from October 2022 up to July of 2023. That was about a 20% rally. And remember, in between, we had the banking crises. That's where we had the three banks go down, and we never fixed that. First Republic, Signature, and Silicon Valley. And remember, there's 180 more banks we're dealing with. Nobody wants to talk about the 180 banks. Those 180 banks, they're insolvent, and they're holding these banks up. And they create inflation by holding these banks up, because at the same time, they're doing it all over again. More QE. It's quiet, but that's what they do. They're holding 180 banks up by going in and buying their trash, their garbage, and giving them money so they don't fail. And they only did that because the government knew, as I told you yesterday, the government knew that the depositors were going to go and take their money because they're scared to death. They saw what happened with First Republic, Signature, and Silicon Valley. So they said, we got to get our money out of all these other banks. So the government propped them up, And they said, hey, let's prop those banks up. Depositors going to go and say, hey, give me my deposit before the bank fails. And they knew they would, and they raised rates on the Treasury, a 3-month Treasury, to 5%. So everybody was pulling money out of these banks. Think about it, 180 banks. Everybody's pulling their money out and loaning the money to the government at 5% because the government's broke and they needed money. Isn't that insane? That's why they didn't save the banks for the economy. They saved the banks for the government. The government's broke. Government needed money. And they're paying them 5%. That was insane. So if you go and take a look, if you just look at, if you put up your chart, and I'll try to do it for you here, so if you're following me, you can see it. I mean, the stuff that's going on is insane. Let me just put it up here for you. You can see it on my chart, or it's archived tonight, my show. So if you go and you look at TLT, and just bring it back to when the market started, when the bond market, when TLT is the bond. TLT is a 20-year Treasury. And remember what happened in July of 2023, interest rates went up and the bond market tanked and the stock market tanked. So the bond market went down about 25%, I think it was, and the stock market went down about 30%. So that was from, remember, July 2023 down to October 2023. So the bond market was collapsing, the banks were collapsing because yields were going up. So what did Powell do? Powell turns around again. Let's do another QE. They always go back to QE. Let's print more money. Here we go again. Print more money, and let's go in and save these banks, and let's get these rates down. Let's get these rates down. So they printed money. They go in, they buy treasuries, 10-year treasuries. That's what he does. They go buy 10-year treasuries. They get the yields down so they can justify dropping the short-term fund rate to 5%. Well, guess what? It's not working. Go take a look on December 27th what happened. Just like what happened on July of 2023, when the 20-year treasury, that's the one I follow all the time, started to collapse. We're starting to collapse right now. And we've been doing that since December 27th to today. See how it's going, the bond market selling off because yields are going up. So yields are going up and the bond market's selling off and the stock market's going down. So today when they came out with the job numbers and the job numbers were too hot, you see how the market went right down? The plunger team comes in, tries to push the market up positive. Right? We were up positive. Now it's back negative because they can't hold that market positive. More on this and what to do. That's the important thing. What do you do? I'll be back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color code chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
There's nothing better than learning from the experts, especially when it comes to investing your hard-earned money.
Hi, this is Phil Grande, host of Phil's Gang Radio Show. At Phil's Gang and philsgang.com, I have one goal in mind: to help you become a skilled investor in the stock market and find your financial freedom. With the Working Investor Program, you will learn what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. You'll develop skills like selling short and how to profit, even in a stock market crash. This is the real world investing information that will give you the edge to be successful in the stock market. No gimmicks, just real strategies, and I'll make the offer even better. with a 10-day free trial of the Working Investor Program.
Once you're in the gang, you're in the know. And with the free 10-day trial of the Working Investor Program, there's no reason not to give it a try.
Become a Phil's Gang member and reclaim your financial freedom. Go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing is to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Become an expert investor. Here's Phil Grande of Phil's Gang Radio Show.
If you want financial freedom, then don't let Wall Street hold you back. Discover what they are hiding and how to thrive, even in a stock market crash. Unlock these secrets with a 10-day free trial to our Working Investor Program. Real strategies, no fluff. Take action right now. Come on, become a Phil's Gang member and reclaim your financial freedom. Just visit www.philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join our gang. It's a new year. You can do it for 10 days. Doesn't cost you a thing. And you're going to learn how the market works. If you notice, I've been talking in my radio show podcast here about the bond market. Why the bond market? Why am I talking about that so much? Because the bond market, once you learn how it works and what it's telling you, you never have to ask the question, what do you think the stock market's going to do? Or what do you think stocks are going to do? Are they going to go up or down? You always know by looking at the bond market. And they don't want you to know that because then, they don't want you to know that. So anytime that, as I said, if you go look on your chart, if you're following me on my chart, just go back and look what happened in July of 2023, how anybody that owned bonds got crushed. Went down to about, you lost about 25%. From July all the way down to October. That was the infamous October everybody was talking about. And the reason that happened is because you had interest rates going up. And when you have interest rates going up And you have the dollar. Remember, the dollar follows the interest rates. They go together. Dollar, interest rates. They're going up. Your stock market's going to come down. So you would have known not to be long in the stock market. You would have known. You would have been with us, our gang, when we shorted stocks and we shorted the markets from July of 2023 down to October. Well, everybody else was buying a dip, and they got killed. And then Powell turns around, right? What happens? At the end of October, all of a sudden the bond market turns around, and all of a sudden the yields they start dropping. Powell starts dropping interest rates, so the yield starts going down, and he's artificially pushing that yield down to push the stock market back up. And there, the bond market started going up, so we know that rates were going to come down. So we started to buy bank stocks. We started to buy a bunch of bank stocks. We bought tech stocks. We bought what else? Some oil stocks. We did so well, but we knew to buy because we watched the bond market and just watched TLT. As bonds were going up, the market was going up. We know interest rates were coming down, so we knew to go in and buy the tech stocks. We knew to buy the bank stocks. Those are the same stocks we shorted back in July of 2023 to October, because the bond market was going down, telling us interest rates were going to go up, so we better turn around and sell short, take our profits and short the banks and short the tech stocks, which we did. So anytime you watch that bond market, you're going to know if stocks are going to go up or stocks are going to go down, because what drives stocks up or down? The way the interest rates are going. So finally, they start pushing the market up, and here they are again saying, "Hey, we're going to cut rates. We're going to cut rates, and market's going to keep going up. We're going to keep going up." I says, "No, it's not. It's not possible, because inflation is too heavy. It's just too much. There's too much inflation. We haven't taken the inflation out of this. Remember, we have been doing this, pumping the market up with printing money for 18 years now, or 16 years." You don't just get that inflation back out. Why do you think every president, except our president, hates inflation? It kills economies. So the bond market's on its way down again. So that's what we know right now. Bond market's on its way down, and the interest rates are up. So you want to, and this morning it proved it. This morning when they came out with I said to my members before they came out with the job numbers, I said, "Hey, all you got to know is they want a light number. They want a low number of jobs. That's what they're hoping for. That would prove that inflation is declining." Well, guess what happened? They came in with a hot number, which means inflation's going up, which means they can't cut rates. And listen what they said this morning. This nut job here. Which one was? Listen to this now.
Well, I think the data that we saw this morning really confirms 2023 was a great year for the U.S. economy.
How could it be a great year for the U.S. economy when the job numbers came in this morning and they were hot? That means inflation is still with us. That's not a great year. And how do you say you have a great year when the S&P 500 went up 24% for the year, but 70 with no earnings, hardly any earnings? 7 stocks contributed to that 24%. 493 stocks only contributed, I think, like 4%, something like that. That's a good year? You know, the other thing that's interesting, everybody talks about rate cuts, how great they are. No! When he is saying there's going to be rate cuts, that means the economy's terrible. When she said this drove me nuts today. When she said this.
Well, I think the data that we saw this morning really confirms 2023 was a great year for the U.S.
Wait a minute, great year? He's asking for rate cuts. Why do they want rate cuts? Because it's a bad year. Because corporations are saying, we need help. We had a bad year. Our interest cost is too much. We got to cut rates. It's funny how people think that when they announce cutting rates, it's a good thing. Oh, it is, for one thing, for the market. That's it. for the market, not for the economy. Not for the economy. People don't understand that. So she's double talking. Corporations, remember, they have to keep cutting their borrowing costs to increase profits. So they're admitting that their profits were terrible and their interest. And remember, they owe $12 trillion. Their debt's $12 trillion. Remember, it was almost $3 trillion they put on their books when they're borrowing all this money so they could do stock buybacks. So they put almost $3 trillion of debt on their books to artificially push their stock price up. How do you think that's going to end? You think the market's going to keep going up? Of course not. It means the economy is not doing well. Now remember, corporations, when they cut their borrowing costs to increase profits, as I say, that would be a good thing, right? If they took that money and they took those profits and put it into business investment. But they don't. They don't put it into business investment. They don't put it into productivity. They don't put it in productivity to increase jobs, increase wages. Instead, they take the money and put it into stock buybacks. That doesn't increase wages. That doesn't increase jobs. They put it into stock buyback. So they get rich. The big shareholders get rich. And it puts more inflationary pressure on Main Street, the consumer at the grocery store. Remember, all this printing of money is used to purchase treasuries to drop these interest rates. And when you print that money, it's interest rate. It's inflation again. So the Federal Reserve drops all these short-term rates. And it kills us. It's killing us. So we got such terrible debt out there. I mean, just look at our national debt, where we are. Since 2008, our national debt's up 266%. She's saying we had a good year? Oh, and the market's going to keep going up, remember. Even though we increased our national debt up 266% since 2008. We increased our annual interest, what we pay, 114%. We increased our deficits, what we owe, deficits, 340%. Do you know what wages went up? 12%. Yeah, wages went up just 12%. But automobiles went up something like 52%. Oh, and the market's going to keep going up. Join my gang. You don't care if the market goes up or down when you're with our gang.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in a down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down So you really understand why the market is going up, or why there's continued inflation, or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. The holiday season is a wonderful time to be with family and friends, and a good time to learn how to improve your investing strategies in the new year. Phil Grande and philsgang.com can help. Join Phil's Gang and enjoy coffee talk as Phil goes over the markets every morning before they open. Engage in live trading classes. With the Working Investor Program, you'll have access to the tools to control your financial future. Success in the new year is just a click away. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. As the new year approaches, make a resolution to challenge yourself to become the best investor you can be. Phil Grande can take your trading to a whole new level. Innovative stock market investing tools and the experience of over 50 years combined to give you the edge in controlling your financial future. As a Phil's Gang member, you're taught the essential strategies of investing using stock charts, training videos, and seminars. It's information Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, when we talk about tax cuts and stock buybacks, and they frame it as that is wonderful for you, Main Street. No, it's not. But they frame it as, we're getting a tax cut. That's going to be great. We're getting stock buybacks. QE, that's going to be great. No. They say to us, well, here's what happens, see. With the tax cuts and the stock buybacks, you got to understand. Yes, the wealthy are going to get wealthier. But remember what they're going to do. With that wealth, they're going to take that money and bring it down through to you, to Main Street, so you can do well. That's what they always tell us, right? Always tell us that. But it doesn't go to you or me. The tax cuts and the stock buybacks doesn't go to Main Street. It goes directly to the stock market. How do you think they pushed up the stock market 650% with no profits? 1,200% on the NASDAQ, 1,200%, 7 stocks. Workers get nothing out of tax cuts. Folks on Main Street, you get nothing out of tax cuts or stock buybacks. You get screwed. Because, see, what we need is, the reason why it used to be illegal, it was illegal to do stock buybacks. Because we need money going into business investment, not taxpayers funding bonuses for the wealthy. Basically what we do. That's why they made this thing illegal, plus a lot of other reasons. But that's all. So when you hear it, you can't associate anything good with a stock buyback or a tax cut. You can't. Now, obviously, if you're in a stock market, hey, we did pretty good between 2008 and July 2022. That was a hell of a rally. But we also do well as the market craters. I'm telling you one last time, just go look at TLT. And if you follow TLT, you'll know exactly what stocks to be in, what stocks not to be in. Why don't you just join our gang for 10 days? Start your new year out right. Start it for 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, you're going to never have to ask again, what do you think the market's going to do? Or what do you think the stock is going to do? Is it going to go up or down? See, they never emphasize the bond market to you because they don't want you to know it. The brokerage community doesn't want you to understand the bond market. Matter of fact, they make it so confusing they don't understand it. When it's nothing to be confused about. It's simple. It gives you the direction in which way stocks are going to go. Because what drives stocks? The direction of interest rates, correct? If interest rates are going down, you find out what stocks benefit from interest rates going down and you buy them, and vice versa. And this is what we'll show you here at Phil's Gang. So keep your eye on the bond market. I gave it to you, TLT. As long as that keeps going down, rates are going to go up. And they've been lying to us all along. Their rates are going down. No, they're not. They can't cut rates. It's impossible for them to cut rates. How can they cut rates? How can you cut rates? Think about this. When mortgages, we have historic debt. Household debt, 17 trillion. Mortgage debt, this is all historic. 18 trillion. We never see that. Student loans, 1.7 trillion. Savings went from 30% down to 8%, now 3%. Now, think about this. How bad inflation is. And they're going to cut rates, right? So they're going to cut rates. From 2008 to where we are today, home prices, median price home, went up 151%. Your wages adjusted for inflation. This is real wage. This is not the crap you get from the fake business news network. Your wage went up 15%. Let's double it. Let's double it to 30%. But your house prices have gone up 151%. Let's double the 15 to 30. Your autos have gone up 126%. So if your wage is going up 30%, how do you buy an auto that's gone up 126%? You finance it. You finance it. Why do you think credit cards are at $1 trillion? Wages aren't keeping up. Wages aren't keeping up. And when the money supply, when they keep pumping, and remember what the money supply is. The money supply is all your checking accounts, savings, everything that's at the bank. All our checking accounts, savings, everything in the bank. That's your money supply. And the government will come in and try to prop that money supply up, try to keep that money supply up. Why? Why would they do that? Because when you got more money supply, then you can turn around and when your money supply overtakes your production, you got more money than what you're producing, inflation goes up. And that's what they want. Because the wealthy, the 1%, and the 101%, their wealth comes from inflation. Comes from inflation. And the inflation we have right now is so bad that there is no way. If they decide to rally this market and go back to QE, print money, go again. Remember how they do this. They have to always go back and prop the banks up. 180 banks in March. We'll see what happens in March. That's going to be the deadline right there if the market's going to collapse or go up. 180 banks. These banks are insolvent. They have to go and buy all their mortgage-backed securities, all their treasuries back that they sold the banks 70 cents on a dollar when they're only worth 10 cents on a dollar, and they're supposed to go back and buy them? They have no money. They can't buy them back. So if the government turns around and decides, or Powell turns around and says, well, let's just do QE again. Yeah, let's just do QE. Let's print more money, go buy treasuries. We'll get the treasury yields down. Then we can push the short-term Fed rate down. and then we can loan money to the banks again, and then we can loan money. I'm sorry, we'll get all that crap out of the banks, and we'll loan money to they'll loan money to the corporations at zero, and we'll get the stock market going up again. That means a loaf of bread is going to be probably about $30, but they may be that crazy to do it because they don't care. Do you think Pelosi and these people in Congress care? The wealthy care what a loaf of bread costs, or gasoline, or a pair of sneakers? They don't care. They got so much money, they don't care. So you care, and I care, and you got to survive. And there's one place to survive. If you want to get a return on your money, it's in the stock market. Oh, no. Yes. Because once you understand the stock market, how it truly works, and because the market is forward looking, you are going to be prepared. You're going to be out front. You're going to be ahead with every move. So you're never going to be behind. See, if you're in a 401k and you don't know what the hell the bond market's doing, you don't know anything's doing, you're depending on something, you're always behind the curve. You never can make money. And that's why 80% of you lose money. But you become a member, just do it for 10 days. See what I'm saying is true or not. You will always be ahead because the market's forward looking. And then you let everything come to you. And never again, you say, should I buy this stock or not? You're going to know. And then you learn how to sell short. And all of a sudden you go, wow, look at, this is going to be great. Interest rates are going up. The stock market's going to go down. Oh, look at these two stocks. They're going down. I'm going to short them. So you'll know that because you're going to know they're going to go down because you know the bond market's going up. It's not hard. Let us help you. And all we ask is at the end of 10 days, when you're finished, you don't stay with us. That's okay. Just help St. Jude when you're making some money. If you use our knowledge, just help St. Jude. That's all. So go to my site, philsgang.com, click where it says Get Started, and I promise you, when you finish your 10 days, you're going to see, God, I now know how the market really works. I didn't know that before. I know how to make money when the market's going down. For the first time in my life, I'm shorting the market. First time when stocks are going up, I'm making money. For the first time, I don't care anymore if the market goes up or down. We don't care how crooked they are. Matter of fact, we make more money when the market is crooked. Join my gang. See you on the chart.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.